everyone and welcome to another CX show. The CX Worlds has happened. Predictions were made, predictions were right, predictions were wrong. We're going to start with the junior races, going to go all the way through to the elite and see what happens, see what I think, and see if I got it right. We'll start with the women's junior, and as most people probably did, they predicted, and I predicted, Lauren Molengraaf from the Netherlands to take the win. Overwhelming favourite, but unfortunately, after starting well, a puncture, at least one, and a crash put the end to her challenge. It was the twins, Ava and Isabella Holmgren, who really took it on and began to dominate. And it was Isabella that took the win, ahead of her sister. And it was Celia Gray, who is French, and she took third place. The junior men went a similar way. My prediction went wrong. It went wrong on the start, finished straight, where Andrew August was involved in that huge crash. You can see pictures of him, his right hand side of his skin suit completely ripped. But even with that, a classy ride, he was putting some very fast laps together, and he'd have been up there with Bichou, Raymond, and Corsus and Co. And it was the Frenchman who took it up early, particularly on the power sections. I'll be honest, I completely missed him off my preview. Whether it was because of the previous results in Benidorm and Besançon, no, it wasn't. I just completely missed him. He took the win. He proved me to be a bit of a prat, and he dominated it ahead of Senna Raymond, who made a good effort to try to get on, and the Belgian Jordi Corsus finished in third place. Under 23 women, and this was pretty much settled from the middle of the first lap towards the end of the first lap. Sharon Van Anrooy, my prediction, and most, I think everyone but maybe Zoe's family, was the favourite. She had a poor start, but got through the field early to take the lead. Zoe Backstead hung on for a good long time. Then she held the gap at 8 seconds. Ultimately, she finished second. Sharon Van Anrooy won by 30 odd seconds. The battle behind was between Kristina Zemanova of Czech Republic, Marie Schreiber of Luxembourg, and the French duo of Berquier and Foucault. Berquier crashed, put her effort out. And it was Kristina Zemanova who took control of that group. I think Schreiber crashed or had a mechanical as well, because I saw her having a bike change. And in the end, Zemanova got third. Tyre choice was the big decider in the men's under 23. Thibaut Nace was on full mud tyres, and Tibor Del Grosso was on slightly slicker tyres. And that advantage for Thibaut Nace was pretty established early. He would get gaps on pretty much every corner that Del Grosso would have to change, and ultimately he would have to change bikes. Yep, the finish may have been close, 4 seconds between Nace and Del Grosso and Wietse Musen, but really, Thibaut really didn't need to push on that final lap. He had a good gap and was never going to be caught. Thibaut Nace, junior winner, under 23 winner, moves up to the elites next year. Brilliant ride again. Del Grosso was second, and Wietse Musen was in third, with a very angry defending champion, Jolien Verschoora, in fourth. The elite women now, and that was a battle between two of the big three, with Puck Pieterse and Fem van Empel, with the likes of Brand, Verst, and Co. in the mix as well. It was great to see Sylvia Persico split up that Dutch dominance though. However, a poor start and a crash midway through the race meant that Puck was always on the back foot. She always seemingly had to close the gap to Fem Van Empel, and ultimately that crash gave Fem the gap to be able to go away and do what Fem does, which is ride a brilliantly measured race. And she took the win. First rainbow at elite level. Puck Peters was second, and Brand was the winner of the Elder States Women of the race. Racing finished for the weekend with a clash of the Titans. Van der Poel versus Van Aert, the greatest rivalry in modern cycling and one of the best ever. They got away early thanks to a half lap from Lars van der Haar, and the racing followed a very similar pattern to that of the Christmas period. Mathieu van der Poel would attack constantly to try and get rid of Wout van Aert. Van Aert wouldn't budge. There was one moment on the climb where I thought maybe the gap was going to go out, but it didn't. Wout van Aert made one concerted effort to attack on the climb and got nowhere. And as expected, the race was going to come back to the final lap. We all expected Van der Poel to go on the barriers. He didn't. He gambled, and they both gambled on their sprint. For me, Van Aert's first mistake was not making it a longer sprint, sort of going for the final kilometre, make a concerted effort into the barriers, and then he'll be in second wheel anyway, which is where he'd have wanted. Van der Poel didn't go on the barriers. He wanted the second wheel. And then Van Aert's next mistake was not going as soon as they hit the tarmac after the off camber descent onto the finish straight. Had he gone then, he'd have won. For me, that's the difference between these two. He hesitated, Van der Poel went, Van der Poel won his fifth world title. And behind, there was a huge group for third. At one point, it looked like some 20, 25 riders were there. And it was Van der Haar and Iserbyt that got away. Van der Haar did pretty much all of the work, and Iserbyt took third.